Station.
In case you didn't know, a fire just broke out north of Châteauneuf-les-Martigues.
Do you know about the fire in Châteauneuf-les-Martigues?
The fire just started.
Hello, I'm calling to report a fire in Châteauneuf-les-Martigues near Valtrède.
CODIS 13 handles the crisis. It organizes relief efforts and sends a mobile command post to the field named Papa Charlie.
A fire in KD 22 near Pas de la Fosse, Châteauneuf-les-Martigues. Can you check it?
A fire's been reported along the highway that runs along the Blue Coast. It's 9:35.
Can I confirm?
Yes, it's good. You can validate. It's confirmed.
Pioneers 2 in Châteauneuf-les-Martigues sector, north of the Highway 55. It's confirmed.
Copy that. Intervening in Châteauneuf with Kilo Delta 22 Echo 1.2 at Vallon-de-Sceaux in liaison with Coast 723. You copy?
Attention. The fire in Châteauneuf is moving up, spreading on the hill towards the plateau.
Flying above the firefighters, Horus 13, an aircraft specially equipped for military surveillance, observes the situation and transmits its data in real time to CODIS 13. Horus's infrared images are striking. They show a shower of sparks carried by the wind that are lighting new brush fires minute after minute. At night, the Canadairs can't fly. It's impossible for a plane to weave between power lines or land blindly to fill its water tanks. So the firefighters will engage only on the ground. In place, the Mobile Operations Command Post, the COS, works in permanent contact with CODIS 13 in Marseille. In Papa Charlie, the field HQ, they organize military-style tactics to combat the fire.
COS Papa Charlie, come in.
For now, the two main emergencies at the Châteauneuf fire are: 1. Protect the antenna essential to air traffic at the airport of Marseille. 2. Prevent the fire from spreading to the Blue Coast. The Blue Coast, a dream coastline. But if the firefighters can't stop the fire in 2 hours, it'll be a nightmare, and tomorrow, just a field of ashes. 11:30 p.m. The situation deteriorates. Burning smoke columns draw fresh air in and accelerate the mistral. It's a vicious cycle. The fire creates its own wind, which in turn stirs up the fire and carries the embers still further. Young team members and the old hands, nobody wants to see their Provence burn. The man who fights all the region's local fires is Lieutenant Jean-Jacques Porchier, a central figure in the fight against forest fires.
I became a firefighter because my roots are here. Both my parents and my grandparents were farmers. For me, seeing a forest burn is a tragedy. I'm going to be right behind you during many fires, so if you hear me yelling, don't panic. There'll be a good reason.
Despite his rough character, this older firefighter is appreciated by all and known for his intimate perception of the environment.
There's not enough water. When I look at the amount of rainfall in 2015, I realize it's only half of 2014's rainfall. That's not good. Every day I think that if it doesn't rain soon, we're going to be in trouble this summer with forest fires. Everyone has to be ready and very aware that something big may happen any day now.
Jean-Jacques' mission is to supervise the expansion of the right flank of the blaze with a very particular method. With the Tactical Fire Unit, the firefighters have renewed the ancestral counter-fire technique, and they want to rehabilitate it.
The Tactics Fires Unit's mission is to use the old methods that the farmers and shepherds used against fires. We'll use fire against fire, incorporating more modern methods, of course.
A real challenge for the firefighters, who are sometimes labeled as pyromaniac. Needless to say, failure is not an option.
We're under the power lines, guys. Right under them.
Be careful, that'll light up.
This is one of the first times this method is used in the department. We're here to put out the fire. We must convince the commanding officers that our methods work, with the okay of our department chief. So where's the truck?
Then we witness a strange scene. At the gates of hell, the Tactical Fire Unit tours the fire zone, methodically pouring flaming gasoline on the ground.
Okay, keep it in line. The challenge is this. The fire arriving at us from 200 yards must pass this line. That's our challenge. We don't have enough fire engines to fight with water, so we're going to use fire against fire. When the wildfire gets 50 yards from our fire, the two of them will attract each other. Then, since the wildfire won't have anything to consume anymore, it will die down automatically. We can make ours accelerate or slow down. We're not going to let a raging wildfire overcome us. With our fire, we can prevent that.
Their method works. The controlled flaming brush goes out quickly, producing a fuel-depleted zone. When the wildfire arrives, it finds nothing left to burn and slows down.
Let's take that path over there.
Over there?
Yeah.
Taking advantage of a lull in the action, 2 CCF water tank trucks, including number 9 from the Martigues station, drive into the woods to defend an isolated valley, unaware that they'll run into a disaster. While the trucks move away, the commander of operations in the mobile HQ chooses to regroup his troops on a defensive line, impassable for fire. The trucks aligned on a forest path await the arrival of the front line of flames. The crews are nervous. They start using their nozzles, but the fire is still out of reach, and the small nozzles are ineffective. The officers calm their teams, monitoring that they don't waste water, because what is coming their way is indeed a duel to the death between man and fire. At the Châteauneuf fire, for the firefighters awaiting the flames, this is the calm before the storm. But not for long. At the bottom of the valley, the heat increases the trees' temperatures, and they give off flammable vapors. Then suddenly, the woods explode into flames again. The emergency siren from one of the 2 isolated trucks that drove off is heard on all frequencies.
Where's the call coming from?
The valley has spontaneously flamed up around the 2 trucks.
Codis 13 here. Emergency, emergency, emergency. Emergency procedure ongoing. Radio silence on channel 8.
Somewhere in the fire, the crew is in distress, caught by the fire, colleagues who will die if they can't be found.
Codis 13 here to the station transmitting on channel 8. Please identify yourself.
The command HQ is unable to communicate with the isolated trucks, and the fire leaves them no respite.
The fire has reached the plateau. We'll try to stop it.
Their light nozzles can't stop a wall of flames of around 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It's the water cannons of the CCFS trucks that hold 13,000 liters of water that attack the fire's front line.
It's coming on strong on the left.
It's coming on strong. All the engines are ready to leave, just in case.
The Codis persists in trying to reach the lost trucks on frequency 08.
To the truck transmitting on channel 8, please identify yourself.
The heavy trucks have brought down the flames, but their water tanks are empty. They have to fill up from a huge tank. Installed here by the firefighters several years ago, it's waited patiently. Finally, after several minutes of stressful silence, the Codis has managed to establish a radio link with the isolated trucks.
This is 13 Codis. You sent a distress call. What's going on?
CCF9 here. The fire came over us. Everybody is inside the truck.
Share your position relative to the fire.
North 4323, east 0509.
The situation is getting worse in Châteauneuf. We've got 4 injured firemen.
They've escaped the worst. The crew of CCF9 escaped with severe burns to the face and hands. But worse, they almost died. On the defensive line, no respite. The flames are now close. The time for the confrontation has come. The teams advance into the middle of the fire and attack with their nozzles.
Papa Charlie right flank, left flank Kos.
Among the firefighters, the fire is personified as an evil beast with a flank, a rear, and a head. She'll try to grow, expand her flanks, regenerate from the rear. Her head is death, progressing, consuming everything in front of her. On the right flank, for now, the fire seems controlled. The monster is defeated. But the head that had been decapitated has regenerated. The fire suddenly picks up and pierces the tactical barrier of Jean-Jacques' team. It's threatening the Marianne air traffic information antenna, and nothing seems to be able to stop it.
We have 2 tanker trucks attacking the head on the plateau. There are a lot of bursts. I think we'll get blown away.
If the fire picks up, it will sweep through the coastal towns.
It's simple. We need to stop it before it reaches our line. Otherwise, we won't have the time to remobilize our equipment and go to the Blue Coast. The fire will surely be ahead of us. It may look like a truck is going fast. It may look like an intervention team moves quickly, but it's not true. We need to drive miles and miles on fire paths where we can't go over 40 miles per hour. All of this takes time.
Jean-Jacques urgently launches a second tactical fire downwind of the tower.
Come on, guys, let's go. Let's go. We've got it. We've got it.
The tactical fire fulfills its mission. Embers fall on an already burnt ground, and on the fire's front line, the flames finally stop. The crew of CCF-9, these 4 young people, were very nearly burned alive. That night, their flesh felt the fangs of the fire.
The air is so hot and unbreathable that the slightest breath burns you inside. It feels like your body is on fire, or literally melting. I thought my nose was melting, like my skin was falling down. I thought that if I touched my nose, it would stick to my fingers and stretch like a gum. It was our survival instinct that told us to get inside the truck. It was either that or death.
Before getting in the truck, I thought we were going to die. Once we were inside, we were screaming, but we were alive. Then time passed and we tried to drive away, but the truck was blocked. We thought we were all going to die inside our fire engine.
I felt like we were going to die anyway, either inside or out. I thought no one would come for us. It was hard.
We were all climbing in the truck, but one of our colleagues had stayed outside. I'd already taken off my glove, so when I reached out to help him, I felt my hand melt. Then I saw the rescue coming. I honked. I flashed the truck's lights. We didn't know if they could see us or not. And then they opened our truck's door. I'm telling you, seeing someone other than us 4 was magical.
In the smoke, dawn rises on Chateau Neuf. Despite the Mistral, and despite the efforts of the men on the plateau, the fire is so violent that it slides between the breezes. It comes out of the woods, moving down the cliff towards the village, and occupies areas near the first houses.